guys, welcome to Algebra 2A. I am really excited to have you in this class this year, whether I'm going to see you in person or if you're just going to be hanging out in the remote world. So this is your Google Class page. You should have been added to this automatically, but if you weren't, shoot me an email, we'll get you a class code and you should be all set to go. All right, now you're going to see the very first thing on here is a Google slide. This is going to be your home base for this entire course, okay? This Google slideshow is going to tell you everything that you need to do. Okay, so when we open it up, you're going to see this title page. You can make sure you're in the right place. Once this loads, we'll move on to the second slide, which is just a calendar for what's going to be happening with you guys going forward. Okay, so you can see the topics that we're going to cover in each period, and you'll see whenever you're going to have a quiz or a test. Okay, so this is just a general overview to help you keep track of what you're working on and when you're working on it. Okay, I will update this probably every week or two, maybe not every week, but every 1 or 2 weeks, I will go through and update this with your upcoming assignments for the next few weeks. All right, now typically your third slide is going to tell you what to do for the day. Today, just because we have a couple of things to go over, we just have a little bit of extra stuff. So again, most of the time, the third slide will be your agenda. Today, it's not just because we have extra stuff. The second slide will always be the calendar, and the first slide will always be the title. So the newest stuff goes at the top. All right. With the exception of handing in assignments, everything else that you need should be in the slideshow as a link. Okay. And you're going to submit all of your assignments on Google Classroom. Okay. Extra help. I will leave this slide up towards the top as well. But you can always come here. This link will get you into an extra help Zoom session Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 2:30. I will be in my physical classroom during that time if you'd like to come see me. Or you can just click on this link here and that will be a Zoom meeting that will come up that I'll be present for. Okay, you also have the option of going to Math Center. Math Center is open every day before, during, and after school. So it's open like all the time now. So that is also a great option for you. All right, so this is your agenda. This is what your agenda slides are going to look like. Now over here, this part of the slide is basically always going to look the same. It's going to have your useful resources. First thing is your attendance form. If you're remote for the day, the first thing you have to do is take an attendance, fill in this attendance form. It's short and easy, has to be done during your class period. This is the same link for extra help. So if you're looking for that, that will always show up on your agenda slide. You've got notes for your unit. There's a blank copy. I'm going to give you a blank copy the first time I see you in person. So you don't have to print it out. You'll get one. If you're remote only, obviously you'll have to print your own copy. But then there's also a completed version where all the problems have been done out and everything's filled in. I think that's a great resource for you, but I do think there's a lot of benefit in filling the notes out yourself. So that's there for you. If you'd like it, you're welcome to print it or reference it. But I do recommend that you fill in the blank notes. Okay, and then this link here is going to take you to a PDF file that has every worksheet for this unit completely done out. So I've done out all the problems. You can see all the different steps there. That is a resource for you. Obviously, you should be doing your homework on your own, but I get that sometimes you get stuck and you're not sure what to do next or how to finish a problem. And I think just having those answer keys there will be a good resource for you. Okay, so that's what that's there for. And please feel free to make use of it. All right, so these are going to be the resources that'll be available on every slide. They're pretty much always going to be the same. Okay, and then over on this side will be your agenda for the day. Now, there's a couple of videos at the top. It's not necessarily always the best thing to watch the videos and then do the assignments. You might want to do like watch a video, do the assignment for that, watch another video, do the assignment for that kind of thing. So just kind of, be aware. So today you're watching an introduction to class, which you're doing right now. Good job. Okay, and then you're going to have a transformation video that you're going to have to watch. But before you do that, make sure you fill out the attendance form linked here. Okay, and then read through your class policies. I want to take a look at that really quick. All right, so you can see the link's going to take you right to it. I'm not going to read this to you because I have faith in your ability to read, but I do want to point out a few highlights. Okay, so first of all, electronic devices. Okay, all of your electronic devices need to be away. If you need to have your computer or your tablet for something, I will let you know. But unless you're given explicit permission, I do expect those to be away. Similarly, earbuds. Your earbuds should not be in or near your ears during class. I don't even want to see them. So none of that dangling it over your ear business. Okay, so your earbuds need to be away. at all times. Okay, extra help. We already kind of talked about that. This is an error. It shouldn't say Monday and Tuesdays. It should say Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 2:30. Okay. Assessments. Okay, so you're gonna have tests and quizzes. You should be able to take those on time because even if you're not in school, you should still be able to take it at home. But if for whatever reason you're sick, you've got the flu, you can't take the test that day, I'm going to expect you to take it the following day. Okay, so whenever you would have come back to school because you're better, that's when I'm going to expect you to take your test. Okay. Note that there are no test or quiz retakes. However, you may submit quiz corrections once per quarter. I call them quiz corrections. They're not really, I don't really have a better word for it. We will talk more about what that looks like when we get to your first quiz. But essentially, you're going to do this quiz correction like activity. And if you turn those in before you take the test for that unit, then your test grade will replace your quiz grade. Okay. So say you take your quiz, you didn't get a lot of sleep the night before, you just mess up, you get stressed out for whatever reason, you didn't learn the material in time, whatever, you get like a 20 on your quiz and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got a 20, right? Well, you do your corrections, turn it in before the test, and then whatever grade you get on the test will replace that 20. Okay, so say you take the test, you've learned the material, you're confident, you get an 80 on the test. Well, that means that your 20 for your quiz goes away entirely. And now you're going to have an 80 as both your quiz grade and your test grade. Okay? You get to do that once per quarter, but you do have to turn it in before the test. All right? And we will go over that again as soon as we hit your first quiz. Okay? Homework. So expect to have homework every day. You're probably going to end up with 2 assignments a day because we do have twice as much time. Okay? So homework is going to be checked the day after it's assigned. So if you have an assignment on Monday, it's going to be checked on Wednesday. Okay? So that's when it's due. However, I will allow you to turn your assignments in late up until the day of the quiz or the test that immediately follows that assignment. Okay, so you can turn it in late. I don't take credit off for being late. So you'll still get full credit for the assignment, but it has to be turned in by the quiz or test that immediately follows the homework assignment. After that quiz or test, the assignment is dead and you can no longer turn it in for any kind of credit. Okay, so don't take points off for being late, but the latest you can turn it in is the quiz or test. Okay, if you're absent, make sure you turn your work in. Okay, if you're absent the day of the test or quiz, like we said before, you're going to be expected to take it the next day. There's some information here about competencies. I'll let you read through that. These are the major topics we're going to cover in this class. Academic dishonesty, you know about that. Textbooks. So we are not going to have a textbook for this class, but there is a way that you can digitally access your textbook. Okay. So there's instructions here of what to do and how to get to this textbook. And it's just a digital version that you might want to use as a resource. So that's available to you if you want it. All right. And then my email address is down here, but that's about it. Okay. So you're going to come on here, just look through that document, make sure you're okay with it. Now there's also a calculator requirement for this class. If you were added to my class this summer, I sent out an email a few weeks ago, and this is the same paper. If you weren't, no big deal, you're just getting it now. But you need to have a calculator for this course. It is strongly recommended that you use a Texas Instruments calculator. There is another brand called Casio that also makes graphing calculators. But honestly, I don't know how the Casios work, and I'm not going to be able to help you with them. Okay, so you're welcome to buy that if you want to, but you're going to have to read the instruction manual and figure out how to do some of these complicated things that we're going to be doing. I have had students who have been able to do that successfully, but I've also had students who ended up like going out and buying a Texas Instrument calculator because they just couldn't do it. Okay, so I strongly recommend the Texas Instrument. All right, now these are basically the 4 different models that you're going to want to pick from. Okay, as long as you grab one of these models, you are totally fine. This guy at the top here, this is the newest version. It's rechargeable, so you're going to have to keep track of your charger for it. I would go with this one if there's no price difference. These are the prices when I made this form this summer. It was on sale at Staples at the time. I don't know if it still is, but just to kind of give you an idea of some places you could look. This is the next oldest model, the TI-84. There's also a color version available for it. Either one of those is fine. This is the TI-83. I actually used that when I was in high school, and it's a really solid calculator. It'll do everything that you need it to. I still use one now. Okay, and then down here, you got the TI Nspire. This is like the fanciest version, and it is overkill. You do not need this calculator for this class. If you happen to already have one because you had a sibling who bought it or something, then it's fine. You can use it, but don't go out and buy one of those. That's too much. Okay, so any of these calculators is fine. Okay, but I also want to encourage you that you can look for a used version of these calculators. Okay, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, eBay, even Amazon. You can buy used calculators. And these calculators aren't like a cell phone. Like a cell phone, after a few years, is like old and dead and unusable. These calculators are not like that. They are bricks. Okay, they last. I used my high school calculator for like 15 years before it died. So it like they really last a long time. And I was actually really surprised when it died after 15 years. So they're going to last. If you have a sibling who has one, you can use it. If you can get a used one somewhere, it'll work out fine for you. So I really strongly encourage you to look around and see if you can find a used one somewhere, because that'll save you a little bit of money. All right, any questions about that? Shoot me an email. All right, next up, you are going to be turning in assignments as PDFs in this class. So anytime you are turning in any kind of an assignment, it needs to be a PDF, not an image file. Okay, so this right here is going to give you directions on how to do that. It's really easy. You can use the Google Drive app, which probably is on your phone anyway. It comes installed on most phones. But you open the app, click the little plus button, click the little camera, and it'll let you take a picture of a document. And then you can click the little plus sign, take a picture of another document, and it'll make them both into one PDF file. So you can put as many as you want on there, and it saves them all as one big long PDF that you can then upload. Okay, so anytime you're uploading something to Classroom, it needs to be a PDF, not an image file. Even if it's just one page, it's got to be a PDF. Okay, and it's just because Classroom does not play well with images. It plays really well with PDFs. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that you do that. If for whatever reason, when you take the picture, I noticed when I was testing this, sometimes when I took the picture, it would kind of crop the page weird, like it would cut off half the page. So use your crop button to adjust that if it does something weird. And also I found that like it kept making all my pictures black and white, and it was kind of weird. So if you turn off the image enhancements, I found that helps sometimes too. These instructions here will let you make a shortcut on your home screen as a little widget. So that's kind of nice if you're going to be doing this a lot. And then on the second page here, this is instructions for if you have an iPhone or an iPad. Personally, I do not. So this is instructions that another teacher made. It looks really easy, but I haven't personally tried it. I guess if you go into the Notes app, then you just kind of click these buttons as shown, and you can make a PDF that way. Okay, so you're going to make a PDF anytime you have an assignment to turn in. Practice that, make sure you're okay with how to do it. And you can practice it on worksheet 2.1, which is your first assignment. So you're gonna watch this video about transformations and complete worksheet 2.1. Okay, now where you find that is on your class page. If you go into your classwork tab, okay, we're looking for worksheet 2.1. So these two numbers, the first number tells you which unit you're in, the second number tells you which worksheet, okay? So we are looking for unit 2, worksheet 1. Okay, so here's unit 2. And we want worksheet 1. This one's the transformation one. Okay. Now you might be asking yourself, why is it unit 2? Why not unit 1? Well, because I'm matching our units to that textbook that you have as a reference, and we skip unit 1 in the textbook. Okay. So we just don't have a unit 1. It's kind of weird. So we start right off in unit 2. All right. So we're starting in unit 2. Transformations is going to be the assignment that's due. Okay. Now there's also, you're going to notice here, a factoring review. This is something you should know how to factor already. Okay, you learned how to factor in Algebra 1, but I find that a lot of people tend to forget how to factor. So this is an optional assignment, and you'll see here that it's optional. So you do not have to turn this in. It's just an optional thing for you to look at and make sure that you remember how to factor. Okay, you're not going to need to be factoring right away, but you're going to want to spend some time kind of reviewing that and making sure that you know how to do it still. It's been a while for a lot of you. Okay, so that's the last thing in your agenda, and that's all that you have to do for the day. So hopefully that was really clear. Again, you'll always have these slides, and there's going to be lots of links in them. The only thing you really have to go looking for is any homework assignments that you have so that you can upload it to Google Classroom. Okay. If you have any questions about this, shoot me an email and we will figure it out. But otherwise, I am really excited to have you in class and I'm looking forward to meeting you all.